All right, charge fans, this is an electroscope, and observe what happens when a charged rod is brought near it. Ta-da! What up with that? All right, so let's start analyzing what exactly is going on there. Let's back it up a little bit. First, let's talk about, so this is when the whole electroscope is neutral. So it's sitting there completely neutral. So this is an outer casing that is insulated from what's going on in the center here. This is it's got some thin metal on this light piece over here. This is a stationary piece that does not attach to the outside casing. So this is, and by the inside, it connects to a little piece of metal that connects to this big metal dish-like thing on top. But there's no electrical connection between this dish and the thing that goes in the middle and the outer casing. They're completely separate. Okay? So let's talk about what happens when a charged rod, so it's neutral now. So what happens when a charged rod is brought near you? Notice this thing goes out. Why in the world would that thing go out? Well, let's pretend that the charge on this stick here, let's say this is a negatively charged stick over there. Okay? Let me find my drawing utensil here. And I don't know where my drawing utensil is, but let's just say it's negative all around this outside things. Hasn't touched, so it hasn't conducted anything. Are electrons in here going to be attracted to this negative rod or repelled by it? Well, by induction, they're going to be repelled down to the bottom. So then these would then be extra electrons at the bottom, and they would gather even on this thing. So if this has extra electrons, because it's in contact with this has extra electrons, same charges repel, hence they go away from each other. And if I were to pull the rod back away from the thing, well, the electrons would go right back up to normal, because we really haven't changed the total number of electrons on the system. We moved them from one place to another. So we'd have a net positive charge left on this top thing. What if I'm wrong and it's just the opposite, that this is a positive rod? If this is a positive rod, well then electrons would be attracted up to this plate, and because they're attracted to my positive rod. And if electrons have left, now we have a net positive charge here and a positive charge here, and the same charges, of course, repel once again, so the same thing would happen. Okay, so we really don't know what the charge is, because it's going to work the same way in either case. So as soon as the rod would be taken away, they would go back to normal. Okay, now watch what happens when I stick my, now so we're going back and forth because it's just kind of vibrating. Now I'm going to bring my big fat hand and I'm going to touch it. Remember, let's go with the idea that this wand has extra electrons. So we repelled electrons from here, meaning extra electrons from here. If I bring my big fat hand that's neutral, what would happen to those extra electrons if I touch my finger to it? They would go into my finger. So I'd be taking those extra electrons away. Now they're no longer repelling because I took those extra electrons, I conducted them from the centerpiece right into my finger. Okay. Oops, I don't want to move that. Let's just move this. There we go. And then I take my finger away, and it kind of goes back to, on average, what it was at the start. Okay, it's vibrating back and forth, but it is acting like it did, like it had no charge whatsoever. Even though I have this charge rod, which we called negative nearby a moment ago. Because remember, we still have a net positive charge up here because we repelled some extra electrons down here, then I took some of them. So if I took some electrons off, what's the overall net charge on the whole system? Remember, I took some electrons off. And before I answer that, let's see what happens when we finally take the rod back away. Whoa! So you take the rod back away, once again, the whole system is charged. Remember, I stole some electrons right off the electroscope there. So we have a lack of electrons, and now we still have a net positive charge on the thingy.
Go to level 3 and Penelope's.
So right now we have a net positive charge on the thing because I took some electrons out of it, hence that's why it's repelling.